Hello and welcome back. This is part 2 of configuring a Bukkit Minecraft server. If you're just joining us, I strongly recommend you watch the first video, which starts the server and gets it set up to connect to yourself. In this video, we'll be going over networking, port forwarding, IP addresses, and essentially setting it up so people other than yourself can connect to your server. So the first thing we need to do is find out our IP address. So let's get started. First, you need to open a command prompt. I already have one open, so let's pretend I didn't, for the sake of example. There's two ways of doing this. On Windows 7, and go to Start, type CMD, and press Enter, and you will open your terminal. And then on every system, including Windows 8, you can use the Windows key, which is the one that kind of looks like a flag, and the R key, and then type CMD and press Enter. Once you have the command line open, you need to view your IP address, and we do that with a command called ipconfig, all one word. And you'll see a lot of information, possibly not as many as me. I have a lot of adapters because of virtualization things I do. And you'll see that my local IPv4 address for my wireless card. If you are wired, you are probably looking for the for an Ethernet adapter. It's local area connection. That's my wired connection, but I'm on wireless right now. So I need my IPv4 address for my wireless, which is 192.168.1.10. You'll want to write that down and remember it. Yours will be different. And then the default gateway you will also need. And mine is 192.168.1.1. That's pretty standard for Linksys Cisco routers, but it can be different, and other brands will definitely be different. So write that down as well. So if we're just doing a LAN party game, which is if you're all in the same house connected to the same router, all they need to do is this 192.168.1.10, whatever your IPv4 address is, they put that into Minecraft. So start your server up. And ensure that your firewall is either turned off or there's an exception for the Minecraft server. The very first time you start the server, usually there's a message that pops up that says something about keep blocking or unblock. You'll want to make sure to press unblock. If it still doesn't work, go into Windows Firewall. And you'll want to turn Windows Firewall off. And then press OK. Okay, so now let's test it. Let's start Minecraft. Have your friends start Minecraft or use a different computer. And for the server address, we want to put in that IPv4 address you wrote down earlier. In my case, it was 192.168.1.10. Press Enter. If it's something other than the default port, which is 25565, you'll want to put a colon and the port number. I used the default. Join server. And there we are. We are logged in. It's dark out and kind of scary, and I feel like I'm going to be attacked by a creeper, so I'm going to go before I die. Alright, now if you want someone other than on a local game where you're all in the same house to play with you, it's a little bit more difficult, and you'll have to do something called port forwarding. Routers block all external connections for security reasons by default, so we need to open up a place for Minecraft so that people can connect. I will be going through a Linksys and a Belkin router. First I'll do the Linksys. So what you do is open up any web browser, and then normally where it says google.com here, you will put the default gateway address. Again, that's found with the ipconfig command, and you'll see that the default gateway for me is 192.168.1.1. It will ask you for a username or password. The default for Linksys routers is username admin, password admin. If you changed it, you'll have to figure out what you or someone else in your household changed it to, and then we'll go to Applications and Gaming, and Single Port Forwarding should be the default. Then we'll add one in here for Minecraft. Yours probably won't have all of this already set up. So we'll say Minecraft. External port is what the port number other people from outside your network will use. I'll use the default. Internal port is the port configured in your server.properties file. Again, the default is 25565. And the to IP address is the IPv4 address that we looked up earlier. So mine was 192.168.1.10. And of course, make sure we enable it. And save settings. Most routers also support something called DHCP reservation, which I strongly recommend. The Belkin does not, but this Cisco Linksys router does. So the first thing to do is to get our MAC address. And what this DHCP reservation does is that IPv4 address you got earlier, it changes every time the router restarts, and sometimes when you turn your computer off and turn it back on. So to make sure that we don't have to constantly change our port forwards, let's make sure that always stays the same. So on this, you'll see under the main setup page, basic setup. If you scroll down, it'll say DHCP server settings. Go to DHCP reservation. It'll open up a new window. And then pick your device out of it. My device is named Cosmos. And that's my MAC address. So copy your MAC address. I'm going to do a Control-C. Paste it here. And give it the IP address you want to assign. I recommend using the IPv4 address it already had. Enter a name. It doesn't have to match that one, but I always like to. And then press Add. And mine has already been in there, so I can't add it again. You'll see it's down here. And then press Save Settings when you're finished. That will ensure that whenever your router restarts or power outages, etc., you'll always get the same IPv4 address. You won't have to reset any of these. Okay? I'm going to run through doing it on a Belkin now. You will still use the default gateway address. Mine's just different for example purposes. First thing we need to do is log in. And they only ask for a password. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think the default password is password on this. It could be admin as well. Try both. If that doesn't work, again, talk to someone in your household and see what it changed to. Once you're logged in with the password, we'll need to go down here to where it says Firewall and Virtual Servers. Again, yours probably won't have all this already set up. We'll go down to a blank spot, type in Minecraft. Again, now they're doing what's called a port range, which means anything within those numbers will be forwarded to Minecraft. So if you just want one port, which is standard, do 25565, 25565, and the same for over here. This is the external port, what other people use, and this is the internal port, what you configured in your server.properties. So let's just put the same number in for both. And again, this is the IPv4 address you looked up. As you can see, this is a different router. This is Belkin. So its default gateway would normally be 192.168.2.1 instead of the 1.1. So let's just pretend mine's still the same, and then we go to Apply Changes. So finally, to give other people what to connect to from outside your network, they will not use the IPv4 address like the people in your household did. We need to go to whatismyipaddress.com. And it will give you your what's called an external IP address here. That is mine, 209.193.83.199. Yours will be different. That's the numbers that you want to give your friends. So when they connect to your server, you'll want to put that in, followed by the port number just like before. So we'll go to Direct Connect and we'll replace that with those numbers, standard port, join server, and boom, we're now connected through the internet, not just the local Wi-Fi. And as you can see, just since yesterday, CraftBukkit has updated, and they want me to update as well. So there you have it. You can now connect through external and through the internet and send your friends to your server. I hope you enjoyed this video. Shortly we'll be going over adding plugins and updating Bukkit. Thank you very much for watching.